circumstances not only do not matter, but they do not exist if you do not have your awareness on them. Hello, my loves, it's Gigi, and welcome back to my channel. We talk all about the law of assumption, mindset, manifestation, and spirituality. We're the Journey fam. I'm so happy that you joined us. And today I want to address something that keeps coming up in conversations with clients lately. And I totally understand why, because this was a huge stumbling block for me in the beginning of my law of assumption discovery process. And here's what usually happens. We know the law of assumption works, and we've very successfully manifested using the law of assumption. We're not doubting the fact that manifestation is something that always works every time. But because we know that manifestation is fail-proof and foolproof, and we are the source of everything, like we've taken full responsibility, then we tend to get even more frustrated sometimes because we're asking ourselves, what assumption is causing the issue? Where am I going wrong? What have I still not cleared up if I'm creating everything and I'm still creating this pattern in my life? Like, what is happening? I know I'm a master manifester. So why am I a master at manifesting what I don't want in this one particular area? I know I've been successful in other areas, but this one particular area continues to be an issue. I keep hitting a wall. And I want to reassure you that this is normal. Nothing is wrong. It's all a part of the unfolding. And the reason why I can say that with so much certainty right now, even though I do not know your circumstances, is because circumstances not only do not matter, but they do not exist if you do not have your awareness on them. If you have your awareness on the solution, on your desired reality, on the new self that you are becoming, then it is just a matter of time until what you want starts materializing in your 3D reality. And I know sometimes we feel like it's taking forever because we want that evidence. We're like, come on, why can't I just have this one thing? Why can't the universe or God just throw me a bone and give me a sign here that really reassures me? But you guys, you are the sign. You are the evidence. Your own belief is the only proof you need that everything is working out in your favor. You have to believe in the unseen, and the unseen is a reality that you decide. You have the key to the universe in your hands by knowing the law of assumption. So don't let it work against you. You're so much stronger than that, I promise you. If we feel like we're still completely left up in the air, not knowing what the next steps are or how much longer it's going to take, and we're frustrated that we've been so successful in other areas in a really short period of time, and yet this other area of our life, whether it's love or money or whatever, seems to be taking forever, and time is ticking, and we have this urgency and this pressure that we're adding to it, then that is exactly what we need to release. The time urgency, the pressure, the feeling like this thing has us in a chokehold and there's this tension around it, that we need to let go. The more time passes, the more people will assign a meaning to that time passing. But you really do not know what is happening behind closed doors. The conversations that are happening, the revelations that people are having internally, the phone calls that are happening. You don't know if someone's looking through photos of you guys together right now and is about to call you. You have no clue what is happening behind the scenes. And you need to maintain your state even when the opposing thoughts are popping up, and don't be hard on yourself that something isn't happening in the exact way or in the exact time frame that you expected it to. It's not that thoughts popping up in your mind are evidence that you're behind or that you're doing something wrong. Thoughts are going to pop up regardless, that sometimes are intrusive or weird or doubtful. You don't have to choose to engage with them. You can look at them and be like, okay, funny. Yeah, okay, nice. Moving on. Let it float on by. All of our thoughts are thought bubbles, and we can either pop them and release them, or we can hold on to it and make it part of our world. But we can't always control what pops up in our mind, and we shouldn't be stressed about having a thought. The existence of a thought in our mind does not mean that it's true. It might be convincing, but it doesn't mean that it's true. I know so many people who say, oh yeah, I still have these weird thoughts sometimes of like a third party coming in and ruining my relationship, but I just don't engage with it anymore and it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't trigger me because I've become so neutral. And that seems like such a far off possibility. It seems like an absolutely far-fetched, like wouldn't happen in a million years type of thing. But before that same thought popping up, they would have latched onto it and they would have spiraled with it. So it's not the presence of a thought that should be disturbing to you. It is engaging with the thought that should be a concern to you. So are you engaging with the thought when it pops up? Or are you letting it float on by? Or are you smashing it with a hammer? Or are you popping it like a balloon? You can decide whatever mental framework you want to use. You can play whatever mental game you want to play, but have a little challenge for yourself where you only latch onto the thoughts that are in favor of your story. You decide what you want to affect you. You decide what is included and excluded from your movie script. You are writing the story of your life, page by page, moment by moment. All we have is now. The past is irrelevant. That's all for today's video. I trust that this message resonated with you and gave you the reassurance you have been looking for. You are getting what you want because you decided that you want it. End of story. Period. That's it. And this is where you need to have some brazen impudence, as Neville Goddard would say. You need to have a little bit of a I don't give a fuck attitude about what's happening in your reality because you are so certain that what you want is yours. Sometimes we're so much closer to seeing something in our 3D that just changes everything. And I'm not giving you false hope here. You are getting it because you know that what you want is your truth. This is your life. And if you're in a really skeptical state right now, where you're having a hard time believing the words that I'm saying, let me just remind you how much the opposite is true, that there can be a compound effect of negative things as well. And there's that expression, oh, it was the straw that broke the camel's back. It was just one little tiny thing after all of these other things piled up that finally made everything go wrong. It's a very common expression that people will say, oh, it just took one more small event or one more small interaction for everything else to fall apart. Well, that means it can happen in the opposite direction too, that there can be all of these incremental, small, positive changes happening and piling up little by little until finally something snaps in a good way. We're just conditioned into negative thinking. Most of us are conditioned into negative thinking due to society or our upbringing. Worry is faith in the unseen in a negative direction, and belief is faith in the unseen in a positive direction. So which direction do you want to choose? Choose the positive direction. And if you're really good at worrying, then that means you're really good at believing too. If you just change the direction that you're going in. Don't give up, guys. I know you can do this. Focus on what you desire and don't allow space for anything else. You are so capable, and manifestation is not supposed to be like torture. We have to have fun with it. We have to remember how powerful we are. I love you all so much. Let me know if this video helped you and what your reflections are in the comments. And if you need additional support, I would absolutely love to talk through what you're navigating specifically. So you will find my information and my link in the description. I am so excited to connect with you and to welcome if you're new here. Talk to you later. Bye.